5,000 years ago, on the banks of the Tigris and Euphrates, humanity discovered something extraordinary. Not just farming, not just cities, but the power of memory. Clay tablets carried the first writing, recording debts, kings, and eventually, stories. Myths of gods and heroes that shaped how people saw the world. This was the birthplace of civilization and of storytelling itself. In Egypt, stone became language. The pyramids rose like mountains against the desert sky, silent, eternal books of stone. Hieroglyphs carved into temples told tales of gods, kings, and journeys to the afterlife. Each monument was more than architecture. It was a message to the future. Egypt's legacy wasn't just buried treasure, it was the story of a people who believed memory could last forever. In ancient Greece, the pen replaced the sword. Here in the open-air theaters of Athens, tragedies and comedies told stories of human struggle. But the greatest tales were questions. Socrates asked, "What is truth?" Plato imagined perfect worlds. Aristotle mapped the laws of logic and science. Their words became immortal, not through temples of stone, but through ideas that shaped philosophy, politics, and the very way we think today. Rome stretched from Britain to the deserts of Arabia, binding the world with roads and law. But Rome's greatest gift was not just power, it was its stories. Caesar's rise and fall, gladiators fighting for honor, senators whispering in shadows. Rome's history is a saga of ambition, betrayal, and glory. And when the empire finally crumbled, its stories lived on. Echoes that still shape how we tell tales of power today. Across deserts, mountains, and seas stretched a road of stories. The Silk Road. Caravans carried silk, spices, and jewels, but more importantly, they carried ideas. Buddhist monks brought teachings, Persian poets shared verses, and Arab scholars carried maps of the heavens. Every trade was a cultural exchange, every journey a tale. The Silk Road didn't just connect markets, it connected imaginations. Europe fell into centuries of war and silence. Yet in hidden monasteries, monks copied ancient texts by candlelight, line by line. Meanwhile, far to the east, the Islamic Golden Age flourished. In Baghdad's House of Wisdom, scholars translated Aristotle, discovered algebra, mapped the stars, and advanced medicine. While some called it the Dark Ages, knowledge never truly died. It simply changed hands, waiting to return. Then came a rebirth, the Renaissance. In Florence and beyond, art and science awakened together. Da Vinci drew machines centuries ahead of their time. Michelangelo turned marble into living flesh. Gutenberg's printing press gave stories wings, spreading knowledge across Europe faster than ever before. The world remembered, rediscovered, and reinvented itself, proving that stories, like seeds, can bloom again when the time is right. The horizon called, and humanity answered. Explorers set sail into the unknown, guided by stars and courage. Columbus crossed the Atlantic, Magellan circled the globe, and Zheng He commanded great fleets across the seas. But every voyage was more than maps and trade. It was a story of risk, wonder, and ambition. Exploration rewrote the world's narrative, weaving distant lands into one shared history. Then came an explosion of ideas. Gutenberg's press multiplied words, giving stories to everyone, not just kings and priests. Pamphlets fueled revolutions in America, France, and beyond. Voices that were once silenced now roared for freedom, equality, and rights. These revolutions weren't just battles. They were stories of common people rewriting the rules of history. The age of kings was ending. The age of ideas had begun. Today we live in a new chapter. History is no longer carved in stone or whispered in manuscripts. It is written instantly in tweets, films, and photographs. We can watch wars unfold, hear voices from every corner of the world, and share our own stories in seconds. Yet beneath all the technology, the essence is the same. We tell stories to remember, to inspire, to connect. The storytellers of the past built our present, and the stories we tell today will shape the future.